Take a day to heal from the lies you've told yourself and the ones that you have been told. That's Maya Angelou. Today, we are going to be discussing all of those lies. Hello and welcome to Ladies Listen Up. My name is Gwendolyn G. R. Houston Jack. And today we are talking about the lies. Now, we've been focusing on self-love for a while. We've been focusing on redefining who we are, truly getting to our core. And today I really want to talk about some of the lies we've been told. That we're not worthy, that we're damaged goods, that we don't deserve to be loved, to be respected. We are going to take all those lies, put them in a bucket, and burn them. And to help us do a little bit of burning, we have a special guest. So before I let you share all of your genius, Miss Tiana Clay, let me tell the people who you are. Tiana Clay is a wife and mother of 4. She's the self-published author of Broke But Never Broken, co-founder of Molding the Clay podcast, and co-owner of Molding Relationships, LLC. Publishing her first book was not only a major achievement, but also put her on a self-healing journey she was not prepared for. Her passion in life is helping women and young teenage girls know and recognize their self-worth. We are welcoming Tiana Clay to the Ladies Listen Up stage. Ma'am, how are you today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm good. I'm so blessed to be here, honored, and I'm excited.
You know, that makes 2 of us because I mentioned before we got started, I mentioned your book. And since we just talked about it, let me just go ahead and show it one time. Let me show it one time. We're going to talk about the book in the midst of all of this. But I want to thank you for coming here and sharing your experience. I don't believe everybody recognizes the power they have to change the life of someone else. Now, a lot of us see those who are turned celebrities and they think, oh, so-and-so's got it. But every single person has a story. And that story can change the life of somebody, just one. And just that one is enough. So let me start with the fact that we want to talk about today's topic, which is resilience and healing. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into our very first one. Yes. Here's my question for you.
Okay.
Because I read the memoir, and I'm not going to tell any lies here because, I want to be honest. I had my Kleenex. I had my box. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember seeing it on Instagram that your book was coming out, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me get ready to get, a copy.
Okay.
And then I got the book, and I was like, okay, well, I got some weekend reading. Perfect. And then I got into it. I was like, wait, stop. I actually put it down a couple of times because I was like, is this the same woman that this is that woman? So let me ask you this. Your memoir, it touches on the journey of you realizing your own worth. Can you share a pivotal moment when you begin to see yourself as worthy of love?
I think it wasn't until I turned 30 that I realized my worth. And that's a long time to go through life and not realize what your worth is. It was when I got with my current wife, is when I started actually realizing what my true worth was. And that's because she made me really realize like what I can do in life um, that I'm not my past, and that I can do whatever it is that I want to put my mind to. I just have to have that drive to do it, and I have to know that I can do it. I have been put down so much in my life and had this stereotype of who I was and who I used to be, to where that stayed in my mind for a long time. Like, this is all I'm capable of doing, you know? And then when I met her, all of that changed. And so when I started realizing what my worth was, what I was worthy of love, that was the best feeling in the world. The best. Because all this time I thought I knew what love was. I thought I knew what it felt like to be loved, and it was all the wrong bad things until I experienced this whole different side of life. I just could not believe it. I'm still sometimes in awe, like, okay.
I understand that. And I can't help but make a quick pivot before I get back to what I want to talk about. But you mentioned your current wife and how she helped you recognize that you are capable of everything. If I can just ask, is it not wonderful to have a partner who is a partner?
Yeah.
Somebody who is like, I see you for all that you are capable of, and I know you're genius, and I got your back no matter what. How does that feel to have that every day?
It feels amazing, but I'm gonna tell you, at first it was a headache. Like, it really, like, it used to rub me the wrong way. Because I was so insecure about myself that when she used to say positive things to me and say nice things to me, I didn't know how to take that. Like, it was, like I said so many times before, like, she made it so easy for me to love her, but I made it so hard for her to love me. And when she would say nice things to me, or she would say I was pretty, or if she would say, if this is what you want to do, you want to have a boutique, let's do that. Or if you want to, be a supervisor, let's do that. Let me get your resume together. Let me do that. I never had that before. So at first I didn't know how to take that. I was like, what's your go-to? Like,
what's your angle?
Like, something's not right. Like, I feel like you need something from me. Like, what is it? That's how I always thought about it. When people do nice things for me, you want something.
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't never genuine for me, And then I had to realize that she's just a genuine person. Like, she genuinely just loves me and want to see me win.
Oh, well, this is perfect because, the way that you're talking about where you were, it also brings in our next question, which is healing from trauma, right? So healing from trauma, that is the personal process. Everybody's got a little bit of baggage. Everybody got some baggage. But what were some of the most challenging and rewarding aspects of your healing journey? And keep in mind, we recognize that journey is not done. Like, we're all still going through something. We're all works in progress. But what's some of the most challenging aspects of your journey?
Well, for a long time, I never wanted to deal with my traumas. I never wanted to meet them head on. I never wanted to deal with it. I always used to just put it in the back of my mind and act like it never happens. And over the years, I started to realize that those traumas would slowly come out, and or something would trigger me. But then I said, what can I do? I mean, I've been through therapy. I've done psychiatrists. I've done all of these things to help me feel better as a person. But those things just didn't work too well for me.
Really?
Yeah, they never worked too well for me. But then I was like, what can I do for myself that I feel like will help me better along my self journey? And it was putting it on paper. It was putting on paper and actually seeing and reading and hearing all of my traumas that I went through in life, and actually facing it And when I even wrote the book and was writing down everything, I could not believe it myself. I was like, did I really go through all of this? There's no way. I was like, it's like every stage in my life was something, and I just could not believe it. But it really helped me go through dealing with my traumas the way I needed to deal with them. I didn't realize too that a lot of my traumas affected my current relationship as well. And in order for me to be the wife and the mother that I needed to be, I knew that I had to start dealing with those traumas. If not, it was not going to be healthy. I was not going to have a healthy relationship with my wife. I wasn't going to have a healthy relationship with my children. And so I knew that I had to do that. And the book is what actually helped me through that. To be honest, it really put me back in another deep depression after I wrote the book.
Yeah.
Because it brought back a lot of those memories and all of the bad things that I went through. And then I had to realize that that's not my life anymore.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, it was like, okay, I can relax. I can heal. I can start that journey. It took a long time. I'm like, I'm 44.
Well, okay, so I can see and I can respect that going back and putting it on paper has always been telling for me. I remember working with some people and telling them that, when you put it on paper, there's more commitment to it because now you can see it. Like it's there in black and white, like it's there right in front of you. And people will often say, well, I don't know. It's like, you do know, but you don't feel comfortable saying it because if you say it, then you have to like recognize it and put your arms around it. But when you write it down, you can't help but look at the black and white. You know what I'm saying? And I highlighted this sentence, which I'll let you speak on. It says, with time, therapy, and an unrelenting determination, I begin to recognize my worth. And I thought, oh, there's time here. Like we are all works in progress, all works in progress. And when you mentioned that, like just writing this put you back into a depression, did it set you back a great deal? Or was it just, okay, I hadn't really taken care of all of this baggage?
It didn't really set me back too much. I think the main thing was when I wrote the book, the only thing that was stopping me from actually putting the book out and hitting submit was my mother. I knew that once she got a hold to the book and she read the book. However, in my mind, I thought, okay, when she reads this book, maybe that'll help her give a more understanding of why our relationship is the way that it is today. That was my thought process. Yeah. But then I realized I forgot who I'm talking about. So it might not go so well. And so, but I was like, I can't. My wife was like, Tiana, you cannot not do this. Like you took this time to write the book. It took you this long. Like you have to put it out. Like it's gonna help somebody. And that was my main reason for wanting to put it out, because I wanted to help just one person. But when my mother read the book, she cut me off. Like, yeah, she told me she didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. I was no longer her child. And that is what really took me into another depression, because I kind of felt that was going to come. But I was hoping that it didn't. And it hurt me because I'm like, I'm your child. And the fact that you read the book and you knew of all those things that I went through that you didn't even have no idea about. And all you worried about and cared about was what was said about you in the book. And like I told her, I can't tell my truth if I can't tell your truth.
Right.
So that was the hardest part. But today, I'm just like, hopefully one day my mom will come around and she'll be okay and she'll finish it and she'll realize that, well, maybe I should have finished the book. because it gets better, and it explains why our relationship is the way that it is, and the fact that she has trauma in her life, and that's who she is as a person because of her trauma. So, but me going through therapy, because I'm going through therapy now, I have a life coach. They're definitely helping me understand my worth as a woman. Like I said before, my wife actually started that journey for me, by letting me know who I was as a woman and as a person. And when I started seeing my life coach and my therapist, I started seeing it a lot more. So,
well, that's a perfect segue, because that's our next question, believe it or not. So how do you believe love, whether that's self-love, platonic love, romantic love, how do you believe that love played or plays a role in your healing process?
I think when you know that it's genuine, you can feel when somebody's love is genuine, and they're not tearing you down, or they're not portraying to love you. You can feel that realness, and I feel it from her, and not just from her, but from my friends that I call my sisters. I have people around me that they cradle me, they hold me close, and they lift me up. And when I'm feeling down or going through the things that I go through mentally, they're there to help me through those moments. And as long as you have that, and it's real, I mean, you're gonna be able to make it through anything. I mean, I never really had that before, so it's definitely a different feeling for me.
Support goes, it can come in many forms.
Yeah.
And I have found, having gone through my own set of foolishness, that when you have it, man, there is something about genuine support and sincere love from other people that changes your outlook. And here's what's interesting, because you give me all the stuff, all of it. Relationships. Now, you spoke about your mother. We can talk about that some more. But the question on the table is, going through this journey, going through your self-discovery, how has that impacted all of your relationships? Now, you've talked about your mother, where you kind of had a feeling maybe it would go sideways. And have there been any other relationships that maybe have gotten better because of you going through this process and sharing your story?
I would not say better, but I think more of a better understanding. And I would say with my children. I have 3 adult children. And they're used to me being this easygoing, laid back, not a care in the world, just kind of letting them go free, do whatever, not really saying anything, no structure. And that's because I wasn't raised with structure. So when I got with my wife, and she started helping me see who I was as a person and as a mother, I began to change into this different person. And it kind of changed the dynamic between me and my children. They didn't understand why I was becoming so strict, if that's what you want to call it. Why I changed, why I'm so different. You're not the same person. I got all of these things from them, and you're not the same anymore, and I don't like it. I'm like, no, what it is, you don't like the structure. You want to be able to go out here and do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's not like that no more. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to tell me what you're not going to do or what you're going to do. No. And so it kind of put a strain on our relationship for a little bit. But then when they really got to know my wife, who she is as a person, how genuine she is, how loving she is, they understood why and how I was able to transition into this different person. And they was like, they tell me all the time, they was like, "Mommy, I get it now. I get it, and I understand, and I respect that, you know." But it was hard for a minute because they gave me so much pushback and they made me feel so bad. And
Okay, so I understand the becoming a better version of yourself
Mhm.
from friends, right?
Mhm.
And I'll use friends loosely because everybody ain't friend.
Right.
Friends, associates, colleagues. I've had the people who were like, you were better when, but I never considered that when you have children who are seeing this change as well, they're like, wait a minute, I'm not so sure I want this better version.
Yeah.
Can we not have that? Because like it's easy to, and I shouldn't say easy because it's not easy. We are more open to letting go of associates who
Mhm.
don't want us to get better.
Right.
Right? There are some people who are miserable, who want to stay miserable. You can stay there by yourself. That's easy. But when
Mhm.
it's your children, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
do we make this one work? Because I just
Yeah.
can't put
It had
the
me
time right.
questioning. It had me questioning myself for a long time, and I felt bad.
Oh,
But then I had to tell myself, I had to realize what my kids, certainly my oldest two daughters,
mhm.
they grew up with me.
Okay.
I was 14 when I had my first daughter. I was
Mm,
17 when I had my second daughter. And so they grew up with me and they saw a lot of the things that I went through in my life.
mm,
So there was never ever really structure in their life,
yeah.
ever. And a lot of things they saw that they should not have seen. And
Mm,
so that's pretty much all they know. All they knew was the street life.
yeah.
They didn't know structure. They didn't know any of these things. So it was foreign to them when I started providing that type of life for them. Because I'm like, you deserve better.
Mm,
A lot of the things that I did in my past in my life was for my children. I
yeah.
wanted better for them. I didn't want them to have the life that I had growing up. So there was a lot of things that I did that I should not have been doing, but I did it for them.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to have a better life and I wanted them to have that structured life and, be proud of me. And that's what I was doing. And they didn't see it that way in the beginning. And that was tough.
Oh my goodness. I think I can slide in this one more question. I gotta get it in there. Have your daughters, have they said, watching you, because sometimes, like watching our parents, we tend to follow their pathway in some form or fashion. Have
Mhm.
they started looking at where they are and saying, okay, I want to now become the better version of who I could be?
I want to say yes, but they haven't quite got there yet.
It takes time. It's
It
not
does.
overnight.
It takes time. But I also continuously instill in them that no matter what anybody says to you, no matter
Mhm.
what you go through in life, don't ever let nobody make you feel less than.
Oh,
Always know that you're better than how anybody can ever make you feel.
mhm,
And don't ever settle.
mm, mm.
And
Oh,
I constantly tell them that almost every day, no joke, almost every day. If it's just a text message,
yeah.
I am relaying the message.
I need you to know.
Not today.
This is
They did not
perfect. This is perfect because we have come to that point where we want to let our viewers know that it is time to do the work.
know. Mhm.
All right. So, since you give your daughters this great advice, what advice would you give to someone who is struggling to see their worth or heal from their traumas?
I would definitely say don't ever give up,
Mhm.
no matter how long it takes you, no matter what you've been through in life. Keep pushing.
Mhm.
always believe more in yourself than what somebody else does.
Oh, man.
Because you are your own cheerleader.
Yes.
You have to be your own cheerleader. Just imagine those pom-poms in your hand and you cheering yourself on. Because if you don't do it, nobody else will. And if you don't have that confidence in yourself and you don't have those nice words to say about yourself or those encouraging words to say about yourself, then what do you think somebody else is going to feel? How do you think they're going to feel? What do you think they're going to say?
Oh, that is spot on. Spot on. Oh my goodness. Best advice, because we've been talking about for the past couple of seasons that it starts with us first before anyone else can buy into whatever it is that we believe in. We have to be there first. Tiana, thank you so much for giving us. Before we let you go, I do want people to know, one, how they could connect with you, and two, how can they get a copy of their book? Because this memoir, I'm telling you, people, you want your Kleenex. Telling you that you want your Kleenex right beside you, and it will definitely leave you in a different space than the way you came in. So how can our viewers connect with you?
Well, you can always contact me on Instagram at molding_the_clay. You can also find me on TikTok with the Clays as well. And you can purchase my book. It's available on Amazon, Broke But Never Broken. I'm trying to get it to that bestseller. Like she said, you have just be prepared because it starts out very dramatic. Like, don't waste no time.
I was, I mean this with all sincerity. I picked it up and I was like, okay, hold on. I'm gonna need to give me a glass or something. Hold on. Because I don't think I was ready. Like real talk, how you're like, okay, I'm gonna read this memoir. And you're like, wait, what? I was like,
Most of them start out smooth and they kind of ease into it. No.
Yeah.
Straight into it, because that's how my life started. So.
Oh my goodness. I said it 100 times. I'm gonna say it again. It was when people talk about being resilient and the healing, ma'am, you are definitely a walking definition. Had you not shared your story, I would have never known.
Yeah.
Never known. I mean, I remember chatting with you about my own business. And I was like, I'm gonna write down all these gems. I'm gonna write down all these gems. Hold on. Right. And I mean, it was the most beautiful conversation. And it's telling we are not our past.
Right.
We are not. We are all destined for something amazing and beautiful if we just go for it. And you are definitely going for it. I can see you on the stage. I'm gonna put out in the universe. I'm gonna see you on the stage talking to the ladies and sharing your message. And I cannot thank you enough for being here again, giving us your time and sharing your story with us. And I wish you all the best of luck in everything that you're doing. And for those of you who are watching with us, thank you for giving us this time as well. And as we always say, give yourself the space and grace to grow and learn. We'll see you in the next one.